Diya Hari Jaya. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Diya Hari Jaya. Gopi Jana Balaba Isvara Hari Jaya. Gopi Jana Balaba Isvara Hari Jaya. Yashodanandana Vajajanarandana Yashodanandana Vajajanarandana Yamuna Chira Vanachari Yamuna Chira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitago Haribo, 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 Nitago Haribo, Nitago. Nitago Haribo, 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 Nitago Haribo, Nitago. Jaya Vishnu Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Stotrasta Sishimad, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jaya Vishnu Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Stotrasta Sishimad, His Divine Grace. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Please confirm Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem se Kausi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Go Bhaktabinda Ki. Se Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shakunda Radha Kundi Giri Govardhana Ki. Vrindavan Dham Ki. Mayapur Dham Ki. Dwarka Dham Ki. Jagannath Dham Ki. Ganga Maya Manamaya Ki. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Ita Gopi Manande. All glory to the Assembly devotees. All glory to the Assembly devotees. All glory to the Assembly devotees. All glory to the lotus feet of Sri Guru Gauranga. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Gurave Gurachandaya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tabhaktayo Namo Namo Jnana Trimendasya Gananganan Salakaya Chaksusumritaya Natasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtan Stapita Yena Bhutale Chanarupa Kadama Yandadati Sampadantikan Vande Hansi Guru Sita Padakamalan Sri Guru Vaishnavascha Sri Rupam Savajatan Sahagana Raghunatha Vitantan Sajivan Sadhuetan Savadutan Parijanan Saitan Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devan Sri Radha Parasagana Lalita Sri Visakha Vitancha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantu Radha Kantu Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radha Bindavaneswari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Krishna Yabasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Vasudevan Sutan Devam Kansa Chandra Madana Devaki Paramananda Krishna Bandi Jagaguru Namamo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tanamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nebise Sasunya Bhadi Pashata Dishatarine Vanchaka Paturubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavana Vibhyo Vaishnava Vibhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahabhadanjaya Krishna Prema Vadayate Krishna Ya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Guratu Se Namah Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, okay, Hare Krishna. All right. So I thank Hare Krishna. Are we on? Hare Krishna. Okay. So I thank everyone for attending this evening's Bhagavad Gita class. The Bhagavad Gita is a conversation between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. So we are in chapter 18th chapter. And the title of this chapter it's called The Perfection in Renunciation. This is the title of the chapter. Yeah. The Perfection of Renunciation. It's basically whatever Lord Krishna has taught in the past 16 chapters to Arjuna. It's like the summary to reiterate whatever had been taught in all the previous chapters. So that's what 18th chapter is dealing with. It's like just like sometimes you give a long lecture, to give a long class, then you want to summarize whatever you have been speaking so that the audience can have the gist of what has been said. So Arjuna, Lord Krishna has been talking to Arjuna about different parts of bhakti, karma sannyas, niskam, yoga process, renunciation, or activities. Niskam karma means actions that one should perform, but without the desire, without the enjoying spirit. So Lord Krishna has given all this detailed knowledge. So Arjuna, now, because Lord Krishna has given so many detailed knowledge in terms of karma, action which should be performed and action which should not be performed, and if one should renounce or not. So Arjuna, in the beginning of this chapter, is asking Lord Krishna to tell him what is better. Is it better to renounce? Or is it better to walk? And what is renunciation? And what is sannyas? So this is what the 18th chapter is dealing with. And so Lord Krishna, summarizes, actually, it just giving the proper perspective, how one should understand what is renunciation, what is karma, and then the different interactions with the modes of material nature. So this is all discussed in the 18th chapter. And then, of course, we know that at the end of it, Lord Krishna will tell Arjuna that whatever I've told you, whatever I've been discussing, whatever yoga, karma, varnashram, whatever, just forget it, renounce, just Savadhyas was a Parityagya, renounce everything and just be my devotee only. Think of me only and everything will be perfect for you. Just think of me, become my devotee only. So this is the last conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita. So that is up to be, but now in the beginning, in the beginning of the chapter, so we're going to be hearing different elaboration of these various aspects of, of knowledge, of Vedic knowledge. So this text number 3, which is what I'm doing today, whereby Lord Krishna is replying to Arjuna about the activities, should actions be performed or should actions be renounced? So Lord Krishna is, So Lord Krishna is now replying Arjuna. We are text number 3, 18. So let me just open up. We have it on the line. Tyajandu sabadi ityeke. You can repeat after me. It's not on the board. 18.3. Okay, you have it? Oh, because the light went off. Yeah. I don't know what keep going on and off. You ready? Okay. Is there? Okay. Tyajandu savadityeke karma prahu manishinha jagandana tapa karma natyajan iti chapare tyajando savadityeke karma prahu manishinaha jagandana tapa karma natyajan iti chapare tyajando savadityeke karma prahu manishinaha jagandana tapa karma natyajan iti chapare.
Tatyam doshavadityeke karma prahurmanishinaha yajnadana karma natyajyam iti chapare. Tatyam doshavadityeke karma prahurmanishinaha yajnadana karma natyajyam iti chapare. Tatyam doshavadityeke karma prahurmanishinaha yajnadana karma natyajyam iti chapare.
Okay. Jagya must be given up.
must be given up.
Those of that
Sabbath
as an evil,
as an evil.
iti,
Iti,
thus,
thus,
eke,
eke,
one group,
Prabhu,
karma,
Karma,
work, Prabhu
Prabhu,
said,
Esi,
Manishina,
Nishina,
great thinkers,
Great Grace,
Jagger,
Yajna,
sacrifice,
Sacrifice,
dana,
Dana,
charity,
Charity,
tapa,
Tapaha,
penance,
Penance,
karma,
Karma,
works,
Works,
na,
Na,
never,
Never,
tiajian
Yajna,
is to be given up.
Atrijuna,
Iti,
Iti,
thus,
Thus,
cha,
Cha,
and,
and
here says certainly, appare, others.
others.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Prabhupada ki. Some learned men declare that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up, but there are yet other sages who maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. There are many activities in the Vedic literatures which are subject of contention. For instance, it is said that an animal can be killed in a sacrifice. Yet some maintain animal killing is completely abominable. Although animal killing in a sacrifice is recommended in the Vedic literature, the animal is not considered to be killed. The sacrifice is to give a new life. The sacrifice is to give a new life to the animal. I have another one here. So sometimes the animal is given a new life after being killed in the sacrifice, and sometimes the animal is promoted immediately to the human form of life. But there are different opinions among the sages. Some say that animal killing should always be avoided, and others say that for a specific sacrifice, it is good. All these different opinions on sacrificial activity are now being clarified by the Lord Himself. Hare Krishna. So, Chagyando Savari Eke, Kama Prahu Maneshina, Jaga Danantapa, Kama Natyagyan Iticha Apare. Some learned men declare that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up, but there are yet other sages who maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be given up. So the Lord is talking to Arjun here about two types of people. The two types of, let's say, sages. One is Manishna. Manishna in this case indicating the great Gyanis, the great thinkers, the Sankhya's, who they propagate that yes, activity should be given up. So the great sages, of course, the great thinkers, because through the analytics, like especially those who deal with Sankhya, the Sankhya study, the Sankhya See, there are 6 darshans in the philosophy, 6 darshans, and one of them is Sankhya. It's one of the 6 darshans. Basically, to study the Vedic, in order to be properly educated in the Vedic knowledge, one has to go through these 6 systems of Vedic analysis. Sankhya, the Kamamimamsa is there. Then you have Jyotis, you have Yoga, and then of course you have the Vedanta Sutra analysis by Vedavyas. But the Sankhya, this is the analysis. Those who concentrate on studying the analytical elements of the material nature, the Sankhyas. So they study them. So they advocate that yes, all the activities must be given up. That because according to them, it's mentioned in the Gita here that dosha, variety, that this is full of faults. It's all these sacrifices which are mentioned in the Vedic scriptures, that this should be given up, this should not be performed. Especially the act of killing the animals. There is an injunction in this Vedic itself, Ma inshyat sababhutane, Ma inshyat sababhutane, that do not harm other living entity. Ma inshyat sababhutane, non-violence. Just like the Buddhists, they condemn violence. So my insist about that don't commit violence to any other living entities. So, but the adherents of Sankhya, so they say that the act of sacrifices must be given up, even though it may be good. Because after all, there are many Vedic regulations that animals should be killed and they sacrifice. But when the animals are killed, it's actually meant to do good to the animal itself. Because the animal is killed, but at the same time also immediately is given a new life. It's given, like Prabhu was mentioned in the purport, that sometimes the animal is not given a new life, but is immediately promoted to human form of life. So the killing itself is not like it's not that the promotion of the slaughterhouses. No, that's not. When we say jaga means sacrifice. Jaga means sacrifice. And sacrifice is meant for what? It's for a higher purpose. It's not something that is done whimsically. It's for a higher purpose. There's a lot of strict Vedic regulation on how sacrifice should be performed. But according to these Manishinas, these Sankhya's, the rest of Sankhya, they say that it creates bondage in the material nature. Because any actions that one perform in this world, it creates bondage. Any action that one perform, it creates bondage. So therefore, because after all, every activity involves some fruits. And because it involves some fruit, obviously, you partake of the fruit. And then because you partake of the fruit, that also encourages you to perform more activities. So in this way, it's actually prolonging one's existence in the material world. So it creates a bondage. So therefore, if one is seeking liberation, if one wants to be liberated from the material world, from material existence, then every act should be given up. You mentioned here tapa, the act of karma, gyan, everything. All kinds of we should be given up. That's what is mentioned here. Because dosha means fault, because it's full of fault. as they say. So so this is the one viewpoint. The Sankhya view, how everything should be renounced, should be given up. And Krishna talked about this throughout the Yoga Gita. But there's also another viewpoint. Like the two persons, like the Lord mentioned in this verse, one is Manishina, the great thinkers. Manishina means the great thinkers. Those who can study with their intelligence, they can study the analytical elements of the material nature. So they are called Manishina, they are great thinkers. But there are others. Apare means the last line. Cha apare means the others. Which means they are considered to be less discriminatory. They are considered to be less, which means they are not as, let's say, as thoughtful as the Sankhya, this other. So you have the Manishina, the great thinkers, and then you have the others who are not as thoughtful as the other one. So this other one, these other persons, other sages I mentioned here, besides they say na tiajam. One say tiajam, another one say na tiajam. One say renounce, another one say no, don't renounce. You have to perform the activities. You have to perform them. So you have 2 points. One say tiagyan, another one say na tiagyan. Renounce and no renounce, no renunciation. So now, it creates a confusion, especially if one wants to follow the path of practice. What should we do? Should we renounce or should we not renounce? Lord Krishna talks about both in the Gita. The whole of chapter 6 is all about renunciation. It's all about going to the forest. Going to the forest and practice yoga system. 5 and 6. It's all about that. At the same time, the Lord also encouraged activity should not be given up. Now, so the Mimamsakas, they say, nitrogen, you cannot give up activities. Because why? First, various rituals which perform, these are ordained by the Vedas. They are ordained by the Vedic scriptures, the various rituals, various activities. So how can you give up that which is ordained by the scriptures? The scriptures say you must perform sacrifice. Scripture says that. And Vedas, they are the topmost authority. So, which means the Vedas, even though the act of killing may be looked at as violent, but that kind of violence is not condemned by the Vedas. It's not condemned, like killing the animals and giving them a new life. It's not condemned by the Vedas. Because, after all, the scriptural injunctions, it override any scriptural rules. It overrides it. Just like one time when Parasuram, his father, Jamadagni, told Parasuram because his mother had committed an act which is considered to be irreligious. So Jamadagni told his Parasuram that, kill your mother, cut off her head immediately. So this is very, very, it's like, what kind of instruction is this? What kind of instruction is this? But without giving any thought over it, the person immediately chopped off the head of his mother. So this act pleased his father, and his father asked him, now ask me a benediction. Ask me for a benediction. Because after all, Jamadagni is a great sage, big mystic power. He asked me, so he asked him, ask me for a benediction. And Parasuram said, okay, now you restore life of my mother, and make her that she will not remember that her head was cut off by her son. She will not remember that. So the life was restored. Because after all, it's very powerful sage. They can do things and they can undo things. See, so even though there are so many defects that is there in terms of the performing the various activities which are ordained in the Vedas, but because it's following the regulation of the Vedas, it's following the authority of the Vedas, so therefore the performance of such activities is meant to elevate consciousness. It elevates consciousness. Like Lokesha said in the Bhagavad chapter 3, he said, Jagnata kamanayata lokonya kamabandana. What is that? Jagnata kaman. What is that? Chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gita. Jagnata kamanayata lokonya kamabandana. Let me just find the verse. 3, you know that verse? Jagnata kamanayata. This is. Let's never find it here. When Lord Krishna was talking to Arjuna, there are many things. He said that, okay, Jagnatat kamano yatra lokoya kamabandana tadatam kamakunteya mukta sangha samachara. So the Lord is talking about action to be performed here. He said, work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. And in that way, you will always remain free from bondage. So which means the Vedic activity that we perform, which is in line with the Vedic scriptures, and because the center point is for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, so therefore it does not cause the material bondage. However, if the activities are performed for the sake of one's enjoyment, for the sake of one's, let's say, because one wants to enjoy the fruit of one's action, so that causes the bondage in the material world. It causes bondage in the material world. Just like, for example, you take a fruit, you get a fruit, let's say you get an apple, you eat it. So because the mentality is to enjoy the fruit, so you eat it, so that creates a bondage. But the same fruit, you offer it to Krishna first. You offer it to Krishna, and then you partake the prasad. That does not create a bondage. So you can see this. One creates a bondage, and one actually elevates the consciousness. Because if you take prasad, it's just become anything that's offered to Vishnu become a spiritual. It's a spiritual food. Anything spiritual you take, it elevates you. You become elevated. You can see. So this is the difference here. So therefore, the acts are not to be abandoned. So the law is presenting the two sides: abandonment of activities and activities not to be abandoned. So the Lord is presenting the two sides here, because there are various school of philosophy who are adherent of that. So when we talk of the argument for renouncing work, so Mundaka Upanishad, it's stated here that Plavayete Adrida Jagarupa, that this is the argument that supports the renunciation of works. Unsteady, verily, are these boats of the 18 sacrificial priests. The deluded who delight in this as leading to bliss fall again into old age and death. So which means the activities you do in the material world, it creates repetition of birth and death. And then, of course, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, you mentioned Bhagavatam 11th let me see. Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, chapter 5, text 14. It says, Yetu anavan vidu santaha stabda sad abhimanina pasun druyanti vishabda pritya pradanti te chatan. So it says that those sinful persons who are ignorant of actual religious principles yet consider themselves to be completely pious without compunction commit violence against innocent animals who are fully trusting in them. In their next life, such sinful persons will be eaten by the same creatures they have killed in this world. For example, in the fourth canto Bhagavatam, there's the story of King Puranjana. No, not Puranjana, King Prachina Bharisat. So Narada Muni, he went to the palace of King Prachina Bharisat. King Prachina Bharisat was a very king. He was, following. He was great king, performer of so many fruitive activities. So they went. Narada Muni went to his palace, and then he told the king. He said, "My dear king, just look in the sky. Look in the sky. See in the sky, you can see so many animals in the sky. See many animals. But all these animals you see, they are the animals that you have killed in your various sacrifices. And all these animals, they are just waiting for you to die, so they will come and pounce on you. So which means you have to take birth again and again, and all these animals will kill you also. So that's the whole thing. Like there's one verse that said that you kill me, I also kill you in the next life. So that's why those who are actually very intelligent, they will give you more consideration of what the Vedic regulation is saying. So the Vedic regulation is not really faultless itself when it said do this, do that, do this, do this, do that. There is now there's another argument for which support no renunciation. Another argument that support that no need to renounce. So in the Upanishad mantra 2, which says that kuvam eva karmani jivi sisa chatam samaha. The next line, that it mentioned that yes, one may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way. For that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. See, there are Vedic scriptures, there are Vedic verses supporting both sides. One side says you perform, you don't perform. If you give up the realization of work, you will not be, you'll be free from bondage. Another said that you perform work, but you will not be bound by your work. You will not be bound by your fruitive activities. So in this way, we have these two parallel things that is going on. We have these two parallel idea that is going on. So of course, in the Manu Samhita, it's also there. Just like in the verse in the Bhagavad Gita, and also in Manshaka, they also in the Manu Samhita mention Jagannatham Pasava Srishta Swayan Eva Swayambhuva. So he mentioned that Brahma himself created animals for the sake of sacrifice. Therefore, killing in a sacrifice is not killing. So the Kamamimamsakas, they have a lot of Vedic, a lot of scriptural verses to support the argument that yes, killing animals in a Vedic sacrifice, it's not killing. Because these animals, you are doing them a great favor. You kill them in sacrifice, you give them a better life in the next life. But the act of killing is not pleasant. I mean, even though, yes, you're going to do someone a favor, but the act of killing is not pleasant. I mean, it's just imagine, somebody come to you that, oh, let me kill you because in the next life you're going to get a better, a better situation. You're not going to agree to that. So that is not, it's not thing. But that's what the people do have this argument, So in the Gita 3:4 says, Nakamanam anarambam naskamyam puruso snote. Not by merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction. So the whole of chapter 3 of the Gita is the Lord said the action must be performed. The actions such as all kind of fruitive actions, the killing, all these things, should never be abandoned, should have to be performed. The whole of chapter 4, it's like that. The whole of chapter 4 is all about, because after Arjuna, he had said that he doesn't want to engage in battlefield. He wants to go to the forest because killing the family members, it's not good. And it's giving him so much pain. So he'd rather be a sannyasi and go to the forest. So the Lord said, no, you cannot do that. You have to perform your duty. Activities must be performed. So this is what in this case. So it's mentioned that the fault itself, dosha, the fault, is not just a moral error. It is the inevitable mixed nature of material action. Just as fire is covered by smoke, which Krishna mentions later in the 1848, all material endeavors have some defect. So, for example, as they say, wherever there is fire, there is a smoke. That's a common understanding. You see a smoke somewhere, so you know that the fire must be there. You see a smoke somewhere. So even though one may say that yes, I am performing all these various Vedic regulations, various activities, being in line with the Vedas. So therefore, I should not be held accountable. I should not be held guilty for the performance of all these activities. But the scripture, they say that every activity that one is done, there's always some fault. Something will always come out of it. Some fault will always be there. Especially there can be many, many mistakes during the performance of sacrifices. There can be mistakes during the performance. And we've seen in the Vedic, in the Puranic stories, the reactions of so many, many mistakes that were done, many mistakes, and these mistakes which came out of because of performance of ritual activities, rituals, And when these mistakes are done, then there's so many repercussions are there. And that's why the Nadamani was telling King Prachinabhai, he said that, Lord, just look into the sky, all these animals that you have killed in sacrifice, they are just waiting for you to die so that they can come and take a revenge of what you've done. Of course, basically basically Nadamuni, basically is to tell the king that yes, the act of all these spiritual activity, spiritual rituals must be given up if you really want to attain the ultimate destination. So, however, the Vaishnavas have different viewpoints. Because the Gyanis and the Kamis, everybody have their own conviction. And this conviction, you cannot change them. Everybody perfectly convinced that, yeah, what I'm doing is the right one. The Gyani convinced that, yeah, the renunciation is the most perfect way for me. What I'm doing that's the right way. And whereas a Kami Mimamsa, he has to believe that what I'm doing is in accordance to the Vedas. Veda has given the strict authority why these actions must be performed. So therefore, what I'm doing, my actions are correct. So everybody is fully convinced about their actions. Everybody is fully convinced. But the Vaishnavas, they have different viewpoints. Like Srila Vishnu Chakravarti. So he said that for the pure devotees, this debate is secondary because their only obligation is the satisfaction of Krishna, the satisfaction of Hari. However, a devotee performs duties, whatever, jaga, dana, tapa, whatever, he performed duty to set an example, loka sangraha for the world, and to worship the Lord, not because they fear the defect of action or desire the fruit of rituals. So which means the devotees see the actions, they don't see it as something to be renounced, nor as something to be given up. It's not to be renounced and also not to be given up. They see it because they see the Lord there. They see it because they see the Lord there because they see the Lord as the enjoyer of all activities. They see the Lord as the enjoyer, so therefore everything is meant for its enjoyment because everything is meant for its enjoyment, so therefore devotee is not bound by it. So devotee is not bound. So even though a devotee is engaging in all kinds of activities, but it's not bound by this. It's like performing work, but also not it's like not performing it. Because a devotee simply sees himself as an instrument for the Lord's activities. In many of his teachings, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he enjoyed all these things. Many of his teachings, especially in the Saranagati prayer, in his Gita-Bali prayers, you find many of these expressions of how a devotee sees himself. That, my dear Lord, I do everything because nothing belongs to me, but I'm doing everything because everything belongs to you. I am just a caretaker of what belongs to you. So which means, what is to renounce? What's a devotee renouncing? The ego factor. The ego. The ego factor. One said, I have to renounce because of ego, the conception of I. And the other one say, I'm not going to renounce, I'm simply going to perform activities because it's virtue regulation. So there's I factors in both sides. I factor is there, the ego factor. But a devotee give up the ego. Instead of I, you put Krishna, there's Krishna. So there's no I, there's simply Krishna. So therefore, When Lord Krishna telling Arjuna that yes, you must perform activities, but you do it for my sake. You are simply, oh Savior Sachin, you are simply my instrument. Just like when Arjuna saw the universal form. He saw that all the soldiers on the battlefield, they all entered the mouth of the universal form. He saw them, they all entered the mouth of universal form. So Arjuna could have said that, oh, all these soldiers, they already on your battle, you already eating them already, so why do you need me? Why do you need me? Because they already, everybody's already entering your mouth. Why do you need me here on this battlefield? But Krishna is telling Arjuna that, no, because you're my devotee, I want to give you the glory. I want you to be glorified. But you are doing it for my sake. You are simply my instrument. But I want to give you the glory of being the glorious, the topmost. So the topmost fighter. So this analysis is there. The thinker, the Sankhya, the common masters, and there's the devotees. The Buddhist conclusion is that nothing is to be given up, and nothing. Everything must be done, but everything is done by the concept that yes, the ego factor must be given up. That's what is needed. The ego factor is so devotee is doing all activities. So therefore, devotee of Krishna, they are the real sannyasi. The real sannyasi means that yes, a devotee is doing everything for the pleasure of Krishna. For the pleasure of Krishna, a devotee is doing everything for the Lord's pleasure. When Rupa Goswami said, "Anya bilasita sunya jnana kamadi anabritam, anukuyena Krishna no silana bhakti." Uchana that yes, anya ambilasita sunya, which means everything, the desire for gyan, for karma, it's no desire for that, no desire for karma, no desire for gyan. But what is it? Desire for Krishna. Krishna and Anusilana. Making Krishna happy. Braja Bhakti means Krishna is the center. Krishna is the center focus. To make Krishna happy. And when Krishna is happy, the whole world is happy. Krishna is the root of everything. You make Krishna happy by devoting everything to him, then the whole universe is happy. Yasmin Tushtan Jagan Tushtan, that is, when he's satisfied, the whole world is satisfied. That's back to yoga. All right, thank you very much. It's very good. It's a kind of philosophical analysis that is there. So is there any question? Any points? Anybody want to ask anything? Want to make a comment? Want to ask something?
Thank you so much for the class. I like this part in the end that on renunciation for devotee is renunciation of the ego.
Yeah.
There is no more I. There should be that place Krishna. We are instrument. Because in this time we actually don't have like those brahmanas who can properly chant mantras, do proper yagya, do proper sacrifice to be proper, as the Vedas said. So it's probably not working anymore. That's why we don't have those. But this kind of pronunciation, this kind of yagya we can do. We can be servants.
Yeah. That's the ego factor. That I am this. Because after all, what can we renounce? What are we renouncing? But this I thing, this I that I'm renouncing, it's just another forcing.
That's what we can sacrifice.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you very much for listening. 6:30. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.